Okay, so get this. Imagine you're like walking the streets of Cusco, right?
Hmm.
Peru, all that history and culture, and boom, right under your feet there might be this secret world, like a whole network of tunnels that Chincana people call it. Crazy, right? And guess what? We might actually have proof now.
Yeah, it's wild. And it's not just about finding some hidden tunnels, like some Indiana Jones thing. It could actually change, like totally change how we see the whole Inca Empire. They're amazing builders.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Machu Picchu, all those terraces they built for farming, it's insane.
Yeah.
So them making some complex tunnel system, it's not that crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, not at all. And the researchers on this, they didn't just start digging randomly. It's like they were detectives. They went through all these old records first, looking for clues.
Oh, historical detective work. Okay, I'm hooked. What they find?
Well, there's this chronicle. It's from the 1600s. Some Jesuit priest wrote it. He talks about these tunnels, says they were huge, like went under the whole city, connected all the important spots, even Coricancha, the Temple of the Sun.
Wow, a whole secret city under the city. That's a
Mhm.
big claim. Anything else back that up?
There is. Garcilaso de la Vega, he was like an Inca historian, descended from royalty even. He mentions these underground paths too, calls them streets and avenues, so it sounds planned out, not just random tunnels.
Okay, so we've got these old stories, but like, how do they know for sure? Did they actually find these tunnels?
That's where the cool science comes in. They did these sound tests. Pretty clever, actually.
Sound tests, like play music down there and see if anyone's having a party.
Haha, not quite. They took these metal plates, tapped them on the ground all over the place where they thought the tunnels might be, listening to how the sound changed, the echoes, to figure out if there were hollow spaces underneath.
Oh, so like a sound map of the tunnels. That's smart. And then what?
Then they brought in the big guns, ground-penetrating radar, like X-ray vision for the ground.
Okay, drum roll. Were there tunnels or what?
Yes. The radar showed all these tunnels, some 8 feet deep, running for like a whole mile under the city.
A mile.
No way.
This is huge. Like, totally changes how we see Cusco.
And that's probably just one part of it. They think there's way more. Imagine you're just walking around up there, and below you, this whole hidden world. It's incredible.
It's like there's a whole chapter of Inca history that's literally underground.
Yeah.
But the big question, right? What were these tunnels even for? Escape routes? Some secret treasure vault? Or something even weirder?
That is the question. And luckily, we've got some theories. We'll get into all that after the break.
Okay, so we found these crazy tunnels, right? But what were they for? That's what I want to know.
Right. Like, it's easy to get all excited about the mystery, but we got to think like archaeologists, what makes sense?
Detective mode activated. What's the most likely thing then?
Well, the Inca had a lot of enemies, right? First other tribes, then the Spanish. So escape routes, that's got to be up there.
Yeah, I can see that. Like if you're the Inca ruler and things go bad, boom, secret tunnel, you're out of there. Smart.
Exactly. Move people, supplies, whatever, without anyone knowing. That's a huge advantage.
Okay, escape routes. Good point.
Mhm.
But what about like hiding treasure and stuff? Could they have used them for that?
It's definitely possible. I mean, the Inca loved gold and all those fancy things, right? Secret chambers full of treasure, just waiting to be found. It's a cool idea.
It is. I'd love to find some Inca treasure, but they haven't found any yet, right?
Not yet, but who knows? Maybe in the future. But there's another theory I think is even more interesting, something about their beliefs.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. What's that?
Well, the Inca were really spiritual, right? Super connected to the land and all that. So could these tunnels have been for, like, ceremonies and stuff?
The word Chincana does mean labyrinth. And labyrinths are all about, like, journeys in the spiritual stuff, right?
Yeah. Picture it. Torches, people walking through these tunnels, priests doing their rituals underground. It fits with how they saw the underworld and their ancestors.
It's like a whole other side to their culture, hidden down there.
And get this, the tunnels seem to connect all of these important places that were already sacred, like the Coricancha. So maybe it was like a pilgrimage route, but underground.
So escape routes, storage, maybe spiritual stuff. Seems like the Chincana could have been used for all sorts of things, right?
Most likely, yeah. Like a multi-purpose tool. That's what makes it so fascinating, I think.
Totally agree. So what are the researchers going to do next? How do we find out more about all this?
They're planning more digging at key spots in the network. They'll be looking for anything, any artifacts or signs that can tell us about how it was built, what it was used for.
I can't wait to see what they find. Every new thing they discover could change our understanding of the Inca. And we'll be right here to talk about it, of course. But for now, let's zoom out a bit. What does this whole Chincana thing tell us about the Inca civilization as a whole? That's what we'll get into in the last part of our deep dive. Back again for part 3 of our deep dive.
We found the tunnels, we talked about what they might have been used for, but now, like, what does all this tell us about the Inca themselves? Big picture stuff. It really changes things, like we knew they were good builders, obviously, but this is next level.
Yeah, Machu Picchu, the terraces, that's all impressive, but to make a whole network of tunnels under a city, that takes serious skill.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget, they did it all without any of the tools we have today. It shows how smart they were, their engineering, the planning, all of it.
Makes you realize we shouldn't underestimate, like, any civilization from the past. They could be way more advanced than we think.
Absolutely. And the Chincana, it's not just about being good builders. It tells us about their society, their government. I mean, this wasn't just random tunnels. It was all planned out, connected.
Right, like they were super organized, had a system for everything, and maybe they wanted to keep things secret, control things. If they were using the tunnels to sneak around, move stuff quietly, that's power, right?
For sure. Imagine you can move your army, your resources, and your enemies have no idea. That changes how you fight wars, how you rule.
It's funny, though. We think of the Inca as, like, mountain people connected to the sun and the sky, all that. But these tunnels, it's like they were into the underground world, too. The stuff we usually think of as mysterious and kind of spooky.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Maybe the underworld was more important to them than we thought. Maybe the Chincana wasn't just tunnels, but like a connection to their ancestors or something, a whole spiritual thing.
Like, we're only just starting to understand their whole culture, all the layers of it.
And this is just the beginning, really. There's still so much we don't know. How did they actually build it? Who was allowed down there? What else might be hidden in those tunnels? Hopefully we'll find out more as they do more digging.
Super exciting time for Inca research, that's for sure. Every new discovery changes what we thought we knew. It's like rewriting history, and we'll be here to tell you all about it.
Well, this has been an awesome deep dive into the Inca and their secret underground world, the Chincana.
Yeah, if you want to learn more, check out the links in the episode description. We've got all sorts of cool stuff there. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our deep dives into history, science, you name it. Until next time, keep on exploring.